This morning I've been on my early morning run, trying to avoid any crowds on this really beautiful off-road route. It's an old railway track which is near the manse. I'm very lucky. But I've been praying, and I thought I would just slow down a bit so I could share reflection with this project which Jill has so helpfully set up. I've been praying for Boris Johnson and for his fiancée, Carrie Symonds, and their unborn child, and for the rest of his family and friends and colleagues. I really do pray for his healing and recovery alongside all those who are in intensive care in our country, and those who are very ill and without intensive care in other parts of the world. But it's a prayer of confession really, because I'm the same age as the Prime Minister. I know that he does some cycling and so on, and I confess that in the midst of this pandemic I did a bit of my own risk assessment and decided that at 55, with good cardio fitness really for my age and no lung problems, I was probably pretty safe, and that made me feel strong. And I wonder whether that same assessment of strength, which again is something probably people in leadership positions are used to doing, is what caused some of the sort of fairly cavalier behaviour that we saw amongst some world leaders in terms of carrying on shaking hands and mingling when they were telling other people not to. And now I realise, of course, that that's an illusion, and that I am weak and vulnerable alongside the rest of the population. There's nothing special about me. And I think that's a good and humbling recognition, and I ask for forgiveness for relying on my own strength. And of course within the Christian faith we know about the temptations to rely on our own strength and not in the strength of Christ alone, and so it's a fairly familiar confession. I'm just stopping to say that there's some of my absolute favourite birds up there. They're jays, which I've been enchanted with since my childhood. Probably can't see them, but they are up there. I'll just since I found a blue-barred feather on a lawn when I was about 3, and they're very shy birds, but there they are. Maybe they're encouraged by the fact that there aren't so many people around. Yeah, there they are. You could just see them, I think. What a wonderful privilege. So, to continue my prayer walk, I think the other things that I've been thinking about is, as a result of some conversations as well that I've had over the last few days, other ways in which this whole experience can lead us into a sense of solidarity with those who in our society may be relatively, more vulnerable, more deprived, more weak. I think of the fact that at the moment we can't go to church, we can't gather together as family and receive bread and wine around the communion table. And I've seen, it's a pigeon, it's not a jay, just up ahead of me. And I've seen some tweets from people for whom that is the norm, because of their chronic illness or other infirmity. They never can get to church, and whilst they may receive bread and wine, they never have the experience of being gathered around the table. It's all in their own home. And so my prayer this morning, a very personal one, but maybe it will strike with you too, is out of this whole experience I will learn a new humility. I will grow in awareness of the experience of others, that my heart will be enlarged so that I may love myself more gently. Out of that, love my neighbour more generously, and out of that, show my love for God with full gratitude and praise. And this is a good place to turn off. This is a bit of a milestone on the journey. Blessings on your day. Amen.